Andy, let me begin with you. What a year this has been for China's new energy vehicles. A lot of excitement. China has become the first country in the world, as I mentioned, to produce over 10 million NEVs in just a year. A huge, tremendous achievement we're talking about. How did China do it?
Well, you're right, Asya. This is an important historic milestone. And I think it's the result of a confluence of factors. So, first of all, long-term government vision and execution, including support for both manufacturing and purchase of vehicles, a vibrant private sector with ferocious competition, not just in price, but in quality, features, marketing, as well as, and this is related to government, but the infrastructure as well, where consumers can have the confidence that if they buy a new energy vehicle, that they can have it recharged, drive it on safe, efficient roads, et cetera. And I think not to be overlooked is the rapid pace of technological innovation with some companies. I think it's NEO now offering a battery that can go about 1,400 kilometers on a single charge. And I think BYD has something similar with a hybrid that can drive, it seems like an astonishing distance without needing to be recharged or refueled. So again, I think it really is this confluence of factors that have led to this historic breakthrough.
And for the first time, Andy, NEV surpassed fuel-powered vehicles in terms of market share. What is the long-term outlook in your take?
Well, I think this clearly is a positive sign in that there's global recognition that environmental sustainability is crucial. And I think here China is leading the way. And looking ahead, it's not just new energy vehicles, but we look at China's leadership in things like autonomous driving, robotaxis, for example. China has a company that recently IPO'd in the US called WeRide that offers level 4 robotaxis, buses, et cetera. And many analysts in this industry believe that this is the future, this convergence of new energy vehicles and autonomous driving. And clearly, China is a technology leader, and it's increasingly a market leader as well. The Chinese vehicles still have a relative cost advantage, so there will be a certain amount of demand just because they are cheaper than alternatives. I think if we zoom out and look at it from more of a macro perspective, I think clearly Europe is twisting on the horns of a dilemma here, because on the one hand, the government and the people are very committed to a transition to a more sustainable future. And there's no way that can happen without a transition to new energy vehicles. And China is going to play a big part of that. But on the other hand, as you mentioned, the cornerstone of prosperity for Europe for many decades was the internal combustion engine manufacturers, especially the German ones. And as they're now being shown to become less and less competitive, this really is a huge, huge problem. And it's hard to see an easy way out for the Europeans with this.
Well, how much will or has already AI transformed the NEV industry? Andy?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, many industry experts believe that the future is this convergence between new energy vehicles and autonomous vehicles. And I think we certainly see that happening around the world, but especially in China. Again, I'll mention this company, WeRide again, with robotaxis. This certainly would not be possible without artificial intelligence. And this very well may be the future. And I can't help but think of William Gibson, the science fiction writer, who said the future's here. It's just not evenly distributed yet. And we may be seeing the future in China.
Xipeng, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. They rolled out a flying car at a recent air show. I mean, we used to see these things in sci-fi movies. Andy, how close are we to being able to get into a car that flies, that gets us from point A to point B, no traffic, nothing, way up in the air. I don't know what's going to happen with the airplanes, but I have a feeling these cars will fly much lower.
Well, this can be very exciting or very alarming. But whether it's flying cars, driverless cars on the ground, or artificial intelligence that is smarter than humans, I think this is happening much faster than many people expect. And I'll give you a quick example. Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, just gave a speech saying that artificial superintelligence, computers way smarter than humans, are thousands of days away, not thousands of weeks, months, or years, but thousands of days. So I think we can expect very rapid technological change. China, of course, is a pioneer in something called the low altitude economy, which would include flying cars as well. So certainly a lot of exciting things happening in China on the ground and in the air.
A lot of exciting things are happening indeed, and I mispronounced the name of that company. It's actually Xpeng, so apologies. All right, we'll have to leave it there. Andy Mok, thank you all for being here.